Hey guys, okay, so I'm back with part 2 of the Halloween Horror Night 2013 review. Hold on a sec, I just gotta fix the camera really quick. There we go. Oh, maybe I should scoot over a little bit. There we go. Okay, so anyways, back for part 2 of the Halloween Horror Nights 2013 review. This video is gonna be about, or this video is gonna be about the mazes. The last video I did was about the scare zones, so we're moving on to the mazes. So we're gonna start with the, we'll do the upper lot first and then work our way to the lower lot. So basically the first maze I did of the night was a repeated maze. Two repeated themes this year was The Walking Dead and this one, which was Universal Monsters Remix. Which last year I said, well, I didn't go through it last year, but last year I said if I did go through it I'd give it a low rating. Well, this year I went through it and I stand by what I said because it wasn't that scary at all. It was pretty lame. Well, for the obvious reason is the music, if you can even call it music. But yeah, it's just kind of, it doesn't really fit. Like, it's not scary. Like, it's really bright, and just the music itself just doesn't add any, like, you know, it doesn't add a scary mood. It doesn't add, you know, it doesn't add any, like, eerie element. Like, it's not scary. Like, you're walking through and it's just not scary. Like, you're walking through and you're supposed to be walking through different scenarios of, you know, classic horror horror movies, like, you know, Dracula and Phantom of the Opera, the original one, not the musical. Frankenstein, you know, but at the same time, it's not even like I mean, they play, I guess they kind of play the, you know, the eerie soundtracks to these different movies, but at the same time you have like dubstep in the background just with its annoying sounds and doesn't add any creepiness to the atmosphere. It's kind of lame, to be honest. And so, you know, it's just not scary. Like, the music just kills the entire maze. If they didn't have the dubstep music in there, I'm sure it would have been a better maze. It still probably wouldn't have been that scary since it's, you know, it's the House of Horrors and it's a year-round thing. But it would have been, you know, at least a little bit better because the music doesn't do it justice. So I'll give this 7 out of 10 just because it's repeated and it just kind of, the whole thing with the music, and it just kind of kills it. You know, no offense. It just kind of it didn't do it for me. So the next thing I did was the Tram. I could have thrown this into the Scare Zone video, but I just decided to do it for the maze video since it's kind of like a maze, but not really. So it was the same thing. It was The Walking Dead, same thing as last year. Like I said, Walking Dead is repeated and, you know, expanded beyond the park. It's Scare Zone, there's a maze, and it's the Tram. So, you know, Walking Dead. Main icon, I would say, if they had one. So yeah, the Tram, based on season 3 this year, not season 1 or 2. Everything Walking Dead this year was based on season 3 except for the Scare Zone. So you basically, last year on the Tram when you got on, it was basically like, it was the beginning of the outbreak and it was all new, no one knew what it was. But this year, when you got on the Tram, and it was basically it's been several months since the outbreak basically, and survivors are, you know, holding up and they're willing to shoot anything that moves basically. And on the Tram they had prison walkers, they had just regular walkers, they had in the part where you got off, you walked past Whoville still. Last year you got to go through the side, I guess through the side of the Psycho of the Bates Motel. You got to go through the side because I know there's like a little walkway on the side right before Whoville ends, the little like entryway there. You got to go through that and walk out from the porch, kind of. But this year you had to go all the way around. So they didn't have that open. You had to go all the way around. It's kind of like the old Tram, where they made you go all the way around the building. So yeah, after that you went up the hill. But before you went up the hill, you go through this little shack. And they had Michonne. They had, like, you know, animal parts and animals hanging in there. And they had Michonne's, I believe it's Michonne's. My little brother like reads the comics of the graphic novels of The Walking Dead, so I think he said that the two walkers that Michonne carries, it's her boyfriend, I think, and I think her boyfriend's friend. I don't remember. I have to ask him again, but those are basically like it's the two walkers with the jaws cut off, basically, and they're in there. They're also in the maze. So yeah, and then you walk up the hill, and it's kind of the same thing, just fake walkers standing there. And when you get up to the top of the hill, you see the pits of walkers where Milton burned them, so there's charred and burned walker bodies on the floor, and some of them are real, some of them aren't, so that's really cool. They have the burning pits of walkers where Milton set them on fire, Season 3. Yeah, by the way, like I said in the previous video, it's going to contain spoilers. If I even said that it's going to contain spoilers in the previous video. Sorry about not mentioning at the beginning of this video that it contains spoilers. So yeah. So basically after that you walk and you basically meet up with survivors, and they're trying to keep the walkers in these cages that are fenced off, or fenced cages. But the walkers are too powerful apparently and break out and are running after you. And you pass the Psycho house, well, past the side of it, because now you don't walk in front of it anymore. It's more, that's just a photo op now with Norman Bates. It's kind of, it's cool, but I wish you could walk past the front of it again. But instead you walk past the side of it, and you go through something that kind of resembles walking through Woodbury, I'm guessing, because there's people, like, you know, wielding weapons at you, and one of them even said on the YouTube video, like, welcome to Woodbury, or something like that. Something like that. And they're, like, swinging weapons at you, and you walk through the War of the Worlds scare zone, and you're walking through, and I guess you end up back where in Season 3 where they find Morgan, and he has those walker traps. You see those with the sticks, like the big old spike stick sticking out, and walkers will run into them, and they can't move. Which is really clever. And so you see those, the walker traps. And the last little building you walk through is where they find Morgan, and he's written all the stuff on the wall. You walk through that, and they have guards, I guess, at the end with chainsaws. And you get back on the tram, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, the Terror Tram, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 just because it was repeated theme, but it was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see Season 3 aspects in there. So those, that was a pretty cool thing. Terror Tram was really cool. So the next maze on the upper lot is El Cucuy, which is the Boogeyman. Now this maze, I went through this maze. Close to closing time. Actually, it was past closing time. I was in line, and I went in there about 2:15ish, I want to say. Every monster was in there. The scare factor was incredibly high for this maze. Really, really good maze, really detailed. So you basically walk in, and you walk through a theater, and it's basically, the person who narrates the entire maze is Danny Trejo. If you don't know who that is, he's Machete, and he's also the, if you've seen Spy Kids, he's their uncle. Those are kind of the only characters I can really remember him as. He's in a shitload of other movies, but those are the two, like, people that I can remember, like, I can really remember him as. So yeah, he's narrating the story of El Cucuy, naturally. And so you're walking through all this stuff, and you basically, in one part, you end up in the village where he goes down and kidnap the children or something. He kidnaps them, and I think he takes them back to his lair, probably eats them or something. And basically, you're walking through, and you walk through this house. Basically, it was a fiesta or a party going on, you know, and everyone is mangled, and this maze is really, really gory. And one part I thought was really cool was I think it's in this part. You walk through this kid's bedroom, and there's gigantic hands like coming out of the bottom of the bed. So it's supposed to be the Boogeyman, or a child's version of a child's idea of the Boogeyman, where it's this monster which, you know, comes out from under the bed, gigantic claws and stuff like that. But as you're exiting the room, I looked on the wall, and they had a picture of Black Sabbath, The Mob Rules, and I was like, wait a minute. Black Sabbath, The Mob Rules? You know, what's this doing here? So I thought that was really cool, like, little aspects of the maze. Like, they had Black Sabbath, The Mob Rules in there. So I was like, what the hell is this doing in here? But it was really cool. So, so after that, you're walking through, like, another house, I believe, and you walk, and you end up at the lair or cave of the Boogeyman, and it's where he keeps, they walk through, and there's, like, sacks hanging, and I guess it's where he captured the children, and he's obsessed with pumpkins or something like that, so he has, like, pumpkins everywhere, and it smells like pumpkins, and there's a part where you walk through this part with cages, and there's like figures in there, supposed to be kids, and they have pumpkin heads on them. So yeah, the scare factor is just really, really high. I give this maze a 9 out of 10 because the scare factor is really, really high. Actually, I give it a 10 out of 10. Really good maze, really detailed, really good scare factor in there. So I'll give it a 10 out of 10. This video is getting too long, so I'm going to make a part 3 for the lower lot mazes. So that'll be Insidious, Evil Dead, Walking Dead, and Black Sabbath. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me about what you guys thought of the upper lot mazes. What was your experience? What would you rate it? Just tell me your review about these mazes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.